Hey friends, it's time for another early career designer portfolio review. Maybe you noticed that I got rid of that super long intro. I'm tired of it and I don't have the skills yet to do any cute animation work. So we're just gonna dive right into it. Today I'm here with Clyde Forland's website for his portfolio, and I'm really excited to tell you about a couple of things that I noticed. One of them, this is really fun. So, Clyde, you are my guinea pig. Actually, everyone watching this is my guinea pig. I'm using a new technology that I'm kind of like nesting inside of another technology. And I didn't realize that I could do this. And I'm not even sure I'm doing it the right way. So, if this comes out like super weird and choppy, leave me a comment and let me know. I need to know whether or not this is actually a viable option for future recording. So, I'm using my live coaching office hours. Did you know that I had live coaching office hours? Yeah, every week I have an hour where anyone can drop in and we can talk about anything. Today, I don't really advertise it, and I probably should, but today we don't have anyone showing up just yet. Hopefully, we won't have any interruptions, but I'm going to use this time to do the portfolio review and practice using this new technology. Win-win, right? All right, so the first thing that I want to do is show you something interesting that I noticed. So when I opened up Clyde's resume, and I'm not going to review the resume, the resume looks great. Let's just say that. This is something so fun. So when I open up the documents, and it's always a PDF, sometimes it's a Google document, it doesn't matter. But if you have a PDF, always make sure that your links come through. And Clyde, you did a great job on this. Here's the fun part. I noticed that it just says linkedin.com. And I was worried for a second there that somehow you had broken the link and that people wouldn't actually be able to get to your LinkedIn profile. And so I was like, oh no, let me test that for him. So I clicked on it, and here's something that I don't think a lot of people know. Okay, actually, that did actually take me back to LinkedIn and not to your portfolio or to your, so down here in the left-hand corner, you can't see it right now, but while I'm hovering on the link, it should take me to that link. So it actually should have gone to your profile. It's super weird that it didn't, but it did this time, no problem. But this also has like some extra stuff that LinkedIn added just to make sure you have a really unique portfolio, LinkedIn profile URL, to make sure that you're totally distinguished. This is just a data thing on their side, but they added all these numbers that make it really difficult to put that on your resume. So I did in fact check, and it looks like Clyde Forland, or not Clyde Forland, but like /Clyde is not available. Mine is /Megan. And I'm going to show you this because this is how I changed my thing. All right, so we're going to go to your own profile and click on edit. And then there is, edit contact info at the bottom of the initial, like edit my profile information. We're going to click on edit contact info. And then there's your profile URL. So they've taken your name because that's a unique feature about you. And then they've added those numbers just like to make sure it's extra unique. But if you click on this, it opens up a new tab. Now my public profile is, it's not public, in fact. Oh, hey girl. Angie's here. My profile is not public. I only do this because I don't want the curiosity of knowing if somebody came and checked me out. It created a lot of drama and noise in my brain a really long time ago. So like I don't have that on, and it is so much better. Angie, get off the table. Oh my God, she's being sassy while I'm recording. Anywho, so over here in the edit your custom URL, you can change it to absolutely anything, including just 3 letters. Don't use any spaces, symbols, or special characters, but you can create your own custom URL. And that's how I got /Megan. So the shorter you can make it, the better it fits on that. Okay, the cat is going to come step on my keyboard. I'm going to lose my mind. That you can make it over here if you want to. I just also know that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about how to customize your LinkedIn URL. And Pangers. Oh my God, look at this kitty. Get over here. Stop. All right, inappropriate. Hello, Clyde. I'm a UX designer based in Dallas, Texas, that prioritizes clear communication and easy collaboration to produce insightful research, discover the why, and solve complex problems into clear solution. And We need to fix the grammar on that. So solve complex problems into clear solutions. I would change that to I transform, although that sounds very chat GPT, but basically you're saying instead of solving it into, that's not good grammar. Not that I am the grammar queen, but you would say I solve complex problems, period, or I turn complex problems into clear solutions. So tiny nitpick there. I'm loving this. I also love this visual up here. I think I noticed, oh, nice. Okay, this is actually super dope because when I looked before at this, if I inspect this, I'm pretty sure I noticed that this was, okay, that was dumb. View page source. I'm pretty sure I noticed that this was Squarespace, and that's fantastic. I also use Squarespace. It's just easier. There we go. Static1, squarespace.com. All right. What I love about this is that these platforms are not always known for being super accessible. I know they try, and to be fair, we should hold them very accountable for accessibility because they are such a widely spread platform. So many businesses and individuals have websites on this platform. However, we as people who own our little website, we get to make all of our little design changes. We sometimes make the accessible inaccessible. But I don't know if you made this choice or if Squarespace did this for you, but the fact that you can stop the moving background is super important. That is aligned with an accessibility issue, which I actually think I have access to. Hold on one moment. Let's see. Hold on. Website accessibility, looking at accessibility, and we're looking at movement and flashing. Video and audio files are not set to autoplay. So this is technically a video, but it's not one of those like we're seeing people move and things talking and buildings and driving and whatever. It's not overwhelming the user. It's a subtle thing, but you can still stop it. So one of the WCAG things that we look for in my website evaluations are elements on the page that move, flash, or animate in other ways can be stopped and do not distract or harm the users. This is amazing. This is under Principle 2 operable for the WCAG, and it's the guideline 2.2 enough time. And this is 2.2.2. Pause, stop, and hide. And I'm reading this to you. The criterion demands that for any moving, blinking, scrolling, or auto-updating information, there must be a mechanism for the user to pause, stop, or hide it, unless the movement, blinking, or scrolling is part of an activity where it is essential. So I am just like beside myself with excitement because these are the things that I'm continuing to get more familiar with, and this is a great example. So whether or not you made that choice, that is huge, Clyde. So I'm really impressed. All right, so you've got 2 projects on here, and another thing that I think Clyde did exceptionally well here is giving a better description of what the hiring manager or whoever is reading your portfolio can expect. All right, you got all your cat fur in my nose. We're itchy. Okay. So Clyde, you've got 2 projects here, and I think I saw that you did Career Foundry. I really and truly have cat hair, what feels like everywhere right now. I love her. She is annoying. And now she's a princess. All right. So here's 2 projects. One is Handicare. They both look like mobile app designs, which is totally fine. Handicare went beyond a simple project, teaching me that end-to-end UX design involves refining, implementing feedback, and understanding others' perspectives for an effective experience. Ooh, that right there, and the things that you have chosen to highlight tell me I'm looking at a UX design project. You've done some sort of refining, maybe even iteration. You have implemented feedback, that's a big deal, and then bringing in other perspectives. Ooh, that tells me you've worked with a team and maybe there was even friction, so that's cool. And then Study Squad. Designing Study Squad taught me to take predefined user requirements, yes, into user-centric design. I considered user behavior and incorporated UI principles for clear usability and user satisfaction. Clyde, I am like this. I think in like 20 videos past, I have talked about give more description so that the hiring manager knows what they're clicking on and why it should be important to them. So as I am more of a UX designer than a UI designer, I'm going to spend time over on HandyCare. I'm going to check that out. Also, we've got another cute visual in the background and another pause. You'll love to see it. All right, really good job. Oh, we've got it on Behance as well. So really good job with a beautiful visual at the top. This is UX design. Tailored pet care at your fingertips. Connect instantly with vet experts for your pet today. So the one thing that I'm noticing immediately is that this is a big picture. So I'm going to scroll down here, and I think this is basically how we're going to look at it on Behance as well. So let me take a look at this to see if it's any different. And these are all images as well. All right, I'm not mad about it. However, it does make it really difficult for a hiring manager to view this on their mobile screen. So let's take a look at the first one, the one I said I wanted to look at. And I'm going to say, all of this looks like one big, okay, it's not one big image. At least there's that. That's good. You've got really good use of spacing. So it does feel like we're looking at something that's similar to a slide deck. Hopefully you have this in slide deck form so that when you're doing an interview and you're doing a case study presentation, that you're able to flip through these really quickly, or not really quickly, but at least just enough information on the screen at one time. So super good job there. All right, let's make sure. Let's see, HandyCare experts for animals. This is a side note, but man, we all struggle with names. My instant thought is like, what is HandyCare? Okay, so you're saying it's close to hand. All right, here's the biggest problem. We all struggle to name our projects. It is the hardest. So even if HandyCare doesn't vibe for you anymore, I totally get it. So, and I also love your little icon that you've made here. So tailored pet care at your fingertips. Connect instantly with vet experts. Let's actually take a look at what this looks like in a mobile device on the emulator 14 Pro Max. Holy crap, that's huge, 100%. Cool. So if I was to look at this on my phone, this is going to be really tough to read because everything got compressed smaller because it's a visual. Now, here's the thing. I'm not suggesting that you redesign your entire website or your entire portfolio to make it perfect. What I know you're going to do is get a job, and then you're going to have a new project to add on there. And with every new project that you add, you're going to do better and better, because when we know better, we can do better, right? So I'm not going to be too worried about what it looks like on mobile just yet, but just an FYI, that does make it harder to review as a hiring manager. Okay, so trying to like not skip too far ahead. So the problem statement: pet owners lack access to a reliable platform that provides quality, honest, and cost-effective advice for their animals. This means that without a reliable source of guidance, pet owners worry that their pets might not receive the care they need, which could lead to illness or injury. Maybe it could exacerbate illness or injury. And I would also watch when we reuse certain words super close in proximity, it starts to devalue the word. Okay, so research. You conducted market analysis on existing pet care platforms, identified gaps in affordable and trustworthy digital pet care solutions, received positive feedback from pet owners expressing the need for accessible and reliable advice. What's the positive feedback? Or are you doing like market research where you're seeing like, they expressed a need for accessible and reliable advice? Here we are using reliable again. And the solution is to develop a user-friendly digital pet care platform featuring expert advice at a fraction of traditional veterinary costs. Okay, I'll tell you, as a senior cat owner, I have spent thousands of dollars on these sweet baby angels. And we sign up for that. And I actually knew what I was getting into because I adopted them when they were both 10 years old. So I know that. I'm wondering if there might be a more effective way to describe the solution, because a fraction of traditional veterinary costs is essentially what you're replacing veterinary care with is self-assessment using an app. And that's not necessarily the message that we maybe want to send, but I haven't scrolled further. So like, just know that there are questions that come up in my mind about, is that what we need? Maybe. We'll see. All right, competitive analysis. Pet owners prioritize quick, convenient, and cost-effective care for their animals, expecting service providers like Fuzzy and AirVet to deliver on promised advantages and high user satisfaction. Okay, that's a really good phrase. Access to experts? No. Upfront cost? Okay, it's good that Fuzzy is not upfront cost, but AirVet is. User resources, tailored tips, and other species. I'm curious what other species means. I'm also curious why AirVet doesn't have tailored tips. Interesting. Let's see more. All right, your research goal. With the knowledge of my competitors, I was ready to dive deeper. Before conducting user surveys and interviews, so we're going to take out those two E's, interviews, to inform deliverables, I established a research goal to gather qualitative and quantitative data. I'm not sure what this means. This feels like I'm jumping into a paragraph mid-sentence. So develop insights that solve issues around accessibility, honesty, and affordable vets advice. This is important because it addresses concerns to pet owners' needs, preferences, and financial concerns. Okay, so sorry, I just realized that this is the context and this is the research goal. The goal is to develop insights that solve issues, or at least surface issues around accessibility, honesty, and affordable vet advice. Okay, I can work with that. Survey data. I had 59 participants in my initial survey. Nice. Define the beginning sample size of animals and species. Document basic information about user vet experiences. Identifying and validating assumptions about users using an online health service for animals. Those are good bullet points. Let's see, survey data, 59 participants with the intention of define the beginning sample size of. I don't feel like I quite understand how these tie together. So identifying and validating assumptions about users, people using, and pet owners, more likely, using an online health service for animals. 59. I would rephrase that a little bit, especially if I was talking through it. You had these 59 participants in your survey, and that's how you defined the scope of animals and species, and you documented basic information about vet experiences. And then you were able to identify and validate assumptions. I mean, you didn't identify them. If you had assumptions, then you were validating them, but also identifying information about people who use online health services for animals. This still looks good. I just want to make sure it's super clear so that you also have confidence when you're walking through it. All right, survey insights. Pet visit costs. Oh yeah, amen to that. On average, 150 to 300. My vet's expensive. On average, 76% of surveyed users wait an extra 20 to 30 minutes for their vet appointments. I think I'd like to know a tiny bit more, like they sit there and they're waiting in the room, or they're waiting to reach out. I'm assuming that means like they're waiting in the room, but I guess I'm not certain what that also means in the context of this app. Maybe you were trying to define like how quickly people get information, might be it. Review search time. 80% of users use 15 to 20 minutes searching for trustworthy reviews when looking for a vet. Okay. I am wondering how many people actually look for a new vet rather than search for information on like, hey, why did my cat barf this up? And most of the time the answer is she ate a damn plant that she shouldn't have eaten. I'm looking at you as she looks like a sweet baby angel sleeping. So yeah, I'm curious about that and how many times people do that, and does that impact the design decisions you made for this app? After synthesizing the data of my survey, this is such a great picture, and you really, really went to town on the affinity diagramming. I love it. After synthesizing the data of my survey, I had a better picture of how user behavior from interviews can help support the problem state. Okay, so you've synthesized the data of the survey, you have gotten open-ended questions, you've gotten people's details, you've transferred this all to sticky notes. And as a result of reviewing this data, you had a better picture of how user behavior from interviews can help support the problem state. Yeah, Clyde, I'm actually not able to process this that well. So, what are you saying you have a better picture of? You understand what people want from a vet experience, and then also you're expecting me to remember what the problem state is, and I don't. Lack access to a reliable platform that provides quality, honest, and cost-effective advice. Okay. Behavior interviews problem state. They don't have access to a reliable, quality, budget-friendly vet advice. Yeah? Okay, reword that. That one's a little confusing. By synthesizing behaviors from 5 interviewees through affinity mapping, it was very clear that my problem statement was validated. 59 surveys and 5 interviews later, these set a strong foundation for my personas. That's great. That's actually a really, really good statement. This is a little confusing. I don't even know that that's necessary to keep. So you're basically saying by synthesizing behaviors from 5 interviews, that means I understand what's happening on this image and that it is the behaviors from 5 interviews that you are in fact synthesizing. So in that case, I would put that that phrase at the bottom right here at the top and delete this one entirely. Carson Jones. Carson's a single millennial dad living in Des Moines, Iowa, that strives to provide a balanced life for himself and his daughter. What I love the most is that this is a person who is not in San Francisco, California. I don't know why everyone picks one of the coastal states, but nice work. After the death of his wife, Carson struggles to keep the peace between his cat and dog on their farm. Carson will do his best, but is seeking additional help. So he wants to improve animal behavior for pets to coexist together. This is so much better than I expected. Scheduling appointments, always has to call the businesses. No recent or urgent appointments are available, so no upcoming urgent appointments. Driving far away for Des Moines and unreliable internet. Okay, this is good. So this right here, the personality like scaling thing, we include it lots of times, and I say we because I think I've used it on one of mine at least. Here's the thing. They're not meaningful, these little scaly things, because it's very subjective. And it also, what does that tell me about why you designed the app the way you did? So if that's not contributing to your design decisions, it's not totally necessary. From the beginning, I was curious about how to visually solve this problem for my users. I dove into other apps I thought catered to possible solutions for HandyCare users. I'm loving the annotations, sidebar idea, but for pets, similar idea, but for pets, include with okay. Tempted to be frustrated because I can't read it, but that's strictly just me being nosy. So honestly, I think it's fine. It's showing that you were looking at other things for inspiration and took notes for yourself to remember and not necessarily for everyone else. So I'm totally fine with this. Really good. This introspection, was it introspection? The introspection means we're inspecting inside of ourselves, and you were looking at other apps. So maybe like comparative inspection. It's a great jumping off point to establish an iterative workflow that would later be tested. So navigate to experts, find a new expert, filter and browse, glance through profiles, and send a care request. This looks good, even though it is like ultra low fidelity, like hand drawn, it is still effective. So good job on that. And it gives me an idea for like, here's how you started to explain your ideas. I like it. After 9 usability test participants, I thought HandyCare was over, but this was the moment where I honored transparency and critical feedback as part of crafting an impactful user experience. I would like to know what you thought it was over. I'm like, what do you mean? You had some adversity? You thought the project was done, but like, I appreciate this. I don't have any of the rest of the story. What do you mean after this? I thought it was over. I need more details, Clyde. So we've got wireframes here. These are not wireframes. These are at lowest mid fidelity. So once we've started using colors and logos and fonts, Now we are into mid or high fidelity. I would consider these mid because they aren't super perfect. And I bet you're going to end up showing me, oh no, okay, these are mock-ups. So I wouldn't put these as wireframes. Wireframes specifically just use like shades of gray, maybe shades of blue, but like super ultra, like streamlined, even images we would desaturate to the point that they have just black and white and gray. So make sure you're labeling these effectively. This is your login, my experts. You've got expert credentials. This is good. Availability, shown the difference in these. The paywall, I would add just one sentence to each of these to say, here's the problem this solves. We needed Carson, let's refer back to the user because then we can tell a story, is Carson felt like it was easy to get signed up for Handicare. Carson was looking for an expert that he knew worked with behavioral problems in dogs, something like that. And he was able to look at Meg and her reviews and her availability. Add a little sentence there. Same with the paywall. Although that's interesting. Would I say that that's a paywall? That's more like payment processing. So you've got care confirmation. Carson was able to confirm the time and date of the care and got a message about it and was able to pay through the app. Fantastic. And then communication. Carson wanted to get some more information from Meg, the doctor that he was planning to see with this animal, and was able to set up a video call. It was super easy. Like, tell the story. That's what people want to know about the story. And therefore, at the end, this could be the last part of the story. Think of this like a storyboard as you're talking people through your wireframe or your mock-ups here. Carson was able to get the information he needed in order to support his cat and dog, and felt really comfortable at the end of the conversation and had an action plan to take steps to care for his animal, something like that. So tell me that story. And if you're including a user persona, then tell me about that user persona. And in conclusion, Handicare was so much more than just a project, but it helped me bring clarity to what it means to be a UX designer. Design is an iterative process that demands refinement, collaboration, and empathy to build better experiences. I really want to know when you thought Handicare was over. Knowing what I know now about user research, I would have loved to use other research techniques like effort risk matrix. That's awesome. And then you also have essentially a call to action for someone to come check out the study squad. Clyde, I am loving this. Also, I love that you have your GitHub on here. Basic car maintenance, Swift, nice. And you've also done some other stuff. So hopefully you are looking at web development and web design roles because you've got the ability to do coding as well. So that is fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love that you have all this. Clyde, this is awesome. I'm super impressed. Thank you so much for the opportunity to review your portfolio. I'm genuinely hopeful that anybody that watches this has the chance to leave a comment to let you know how well you did, and also give me feedback on any ideas or questions that you have, thoughts that you want to share about this case study portfolio review. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next week for another early career designer portfolio review. Thanks. Have an awesome day.